My name is Marie Hoffman, and we're going to learn all about horses, and we're going to do it through these videos that I'm going to be presenting to you. So first off, this is Mo. He's one of my school horses, and we're at my farm on Eagles Wings Equine Center. We're in Kirkland, and this is where we're going to video a lot of what I'm going to show you how to do. First, we're going to start out with a little bit about me. I've been training horses for 47 years. We've had this farm here on this property for 16 years and another property for another 20 years. So anyway, I've been at it a long time, and I'm really glad to teach you guys how to do this and learn all about the world of horses. So anyway, so this is Mo, and we're going to first talk about safety rules. It's going to be in your blackboard so you can read them, and I'm going to just cover a few of them that I really think that we need to highlight, and that when you get to be around a horse that you really pay attention to so that you can be safe. The first one we're going to talk about is just leading. You want to make sure that you hold the end of your rope folded, so if the horse should get frightened and take off, it'll just pull free from your hand, and they'll likely go off and go eat grass somewhere. If you put it in a loop and the horse takes off, this will bind on your hand, and even though your hand's open, they will drag you. And I got to do this when I was 10. My mare Jingle Bells drug me down a gravel driveway on my chin and elbow, and it wasn't much fun. And anyway, from then on, I always learned that you always have to fold the rope and never make a loop. The other thing you want to be doing is you want to be paying attention to their body language. We're going to talk a lot about body language in this course because I want you to be able to read them and understand what they're telling you by how they hold their body, their posture, their eyes, their ears, the licking and chewing that he just did. These all tell us things. And so we're going to start out today with just some of the very basics is where is his attention at. So right now his attention is over there in his pen, which is where his buddies all live, and so he's looking off to that way. And so we're going to have Liz, this is my friend Liz, she's helping me out today, and we're going to back him up a little bit. And she's going to hold that bucket and pretend it's got some food in it, and you can see that he's looking at her. His attention is where the fuzzy part of his ear is. So right now his attention's forward, walk that way toward his tail. And he should follow her. And then walk forward, Liz. There you go. And why that's important is where the horse's attention is tells you whether they're safe to walk behind or not. So I'm going to move Mo so I can position him so I can walk behind him and show you the proper way to do that. Okay, Liz, if you want to put that down, please, and come hold him. Okay, so when you walk behind a horse, you want to make sure that the horse recognizes that you're there. I can see the open part of his ear. I can see his eyeball. If I can't see his eyeball, he can't see me. And it's very similar. A horse can be startled just like you. If you're in class or sitting at your kitchen table and you're deep in thought about something other than what's going on, and your teacher calls in your name or someone goes behind you and goes boo, you'll have a startle reflex. Well, a horse is a prey animal, and he'll have a startle reflex also. Unfortunately for us, his startle reflex might be kicking. So we want to make sure that when we approach from behind, that we always see their ear, always see their eyes, see their ear turned toward us, and we always say, hey horse, here we are, and then that brings their attention to us. He's a very gentle horse. He would never kick me if he knew I was here, so we just want to make sure he knows I'm here. And then when we walk around them, we want to make sure they look at us first, and then we touch them. You never want to touch them if they are not looking at you because you could startle them. Then you want to walk very, 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 very close, like this. And now he's looking at me with his other eye because he saw me go across. You do not want to be walking when you are, hey Mo, when you are this distance. This is the perfect distance for his leg to hit you in the thigh, and he can break your thigh with just picking up a hind leg from the startle reflex. So just make sure that when you are walking really close, if he should not want me here, he will pick up his foot and he will push me, but he cannot kick me. If I'm out here, then he could possibly kick me, and we don't want anybody to get hurt. So the other thing you don't want to be doing is you don't want to be ducking underneath their neck. So you don't want to go underneath here. His head weighs about 200 pounds, and these two jawbones will come right down on top of your head, and it hurts. And the other thing is you're in a very unsafe place to be right in front of his chest. You should always be to the outside of his front leg, or the outside of the other front leg, never in that path in the middle. If you're in the path in the middle and he gets startled, he could just run right over you. I'd like to stress those of you guys that are beginners, these are just safety things that we always do. The horses that I hope you guys get to ride are very gentle and sweet and are tolerant of, mistakes that you make. But I just want to show you where to be, because that's just the safest place to be. So you want to just keep yourself on the side there. What I want to show you right now is I'm going to show you what a horse looks like when they are frightened. They have a posture that they assume that tells you that they're frightened and they might kick you. Anyway, I'm going to show you this posture. It looks similar to a dog that's scared. They tuck their tail down, they hunch their haunches up underneath them. So don't let him walk forward. And you can see that his tail went down. These muscles up here got big. And what he's doing when they're frightened is they're basically trying to protect themselves, so they kind of hunch up. A horse that looks like that and nobody's poking him in the rear end with a hoof pick, that's a horse you want to stay away from. That's a horse I stay away from. As far as the other safety things we want to be considering is we don't want to feed them out of our hand. They cannot see what they're eating, and some horses can be very grabby at treats and things. So we want to make sure we put our feet in a bowl or in their food at night. So if you want to give them an extra treat, they can have that. Okay, now I'm going to talk about brushing. The reason that we brush your horses before we ride them, or just brush them to clean them up, is to remove loose hair. It's a friendship gesture to the horse. They like to be brushed if you brush them correctly. And you need to make sure that your saddle area, which is here, and your girth area, which is under here, is clean. You don't want dirt or mud in there, because that'll rub and it'll cause a sore underneath your saddle, and your horse will start acting up, and you'll be like, why is he acting up? So you want to make sure that it's clean. So we're going to do that, and there's tools that you use to do that. This is a hoof pick. It has a nice little brush on it. We're going to get to that in a minute. This is called a sweat scraper or a curry, just a shedding blade. Shedding blades are really good for winter hair, as far as taking off gobs of winter hair. He's shedding. The interesting thing about horses' hair is that their summer hair is dense, meaning it's solid, and the winter hair is hollow. So every spring and fall, they have to shed off the dense summer hair, because it doesn't keep them warm for the winter, and they have to grow their winter hair. And then they have to shed off their winter hair because it keeps them too warm for the summer, and grow their dense summer hair. And what triggers them to grow is their hypothalamus gland, and it's the daylight. So when the daylight starts getting longer in December, in 30 days, they start shedding. In summer, the daylight changes, and in 30 days, they start shedding off that summer hair and start growing their winter hair. The length of their winter hair is determined by how cold it is. Their summer hair is much shorter, and their winter hair is much longer. So anyway, this is a shedding blade, and if you use the smooth part, if they're all sweaty in the summer, you can scrape off the sweat. Then we also have a rubber curry comb, and I'm going to show you a little bit how to use that. You also want to make sure, this is really, really important, I want you to put your hand that you are not brushing with on your horse. This will tell you when your horse moves. And the most dangerous thing that happens around our stable is if someone gets their feet stepped on. And a horse cannot see his feet. If you stand up, look straight ahead, you cannot see your feet. So the horse, if he has his head down, he can see his feet. But when his head is in the normal position, he cannot see his feet. So when you are brushing, you tend to get your feet kind of close to them, because it's just where you stand. And if you have your hand on him while you're brushing, you can feel him shift his weight and move over. When you feel him shift his weight, just move your toes out of the way. Because the horse really doesn't want to step on you. You're squishy. Horses instinctively don't want to step on squishy things, not to mention if he's standing on your toe, you're probably yelling, "Get off my foot!" So you want to just make sure you keep your feet clear of him. So you do that by putting your other hand on the horse, and that just tells you where he's at. It also steadies you. So we're going to start with the rubber curry comb. We start up by the neck. We don't pay a lot of attention to the mane, and we'll come to that at the very end. If you have a school horse and you ride, these horses are ridden a lot. If everybody brushed their manes don't grow very well. Their manes will get very, very thin. So we just sort of ignore the mane, or we pick it with our fingers. But we do pay attention to the body and brush the body. So I'm gonna go ahead, and this rubber curry comb, it's made out of rubber, and it's got little teeth on it that kind of give the horse a nice little massage. And you're gonna notice, and I'm just kind of gonna do a quick job here, and you're gonna notice this horse is looking dirtier than when I started. What it's doing is it's bringing up the loose hair that's underneath, and you can see there's kind of some dandruff looking like light colored stuff here, and that's just dead skin cells, and it's also bringing up the oil. Something that's really interesting for horses in the wintertime is their body produces kind of a dandruffy oil, and that dandruffy oil, when brushed into their coat or when they roll outside in their pen, that dandruffy oil makes their coat waterproof in the wintertime. So when the snow's on them, the water just runs off, and they're like seals or animals that are in the water. When they get rained on lightly, it just rolls off and they stay nice and dry, just right down by the skin. Their top hair looks wet, but their skin is dry. So we're going to go ahead. We only curry down to their knee. Below their knee to their hoof is just bone and tendon. So you don't want to curry down there unless they're really, really dirty, and then you just have to be very gentle. The next brush, and all of this is in your packet or in your handouts that I'm going to give to you that you'll have on Blackboard. This is a dandy brush or a stiff brush. The bristles are very stiff. And then there's another brush called a body brush, and the bristles are really soft. So we're going to, this goes the direction of the hair, and this brush goes all the way down to the feet, which are called hooves. And you want to make sure that you don't brush kneeling down like this. This is not safe because the horse has the fastest reaction time of any domestic animal. So if even Mo, his nickname is Slow Mo, but even Mo could move very, very quickly, and I would not be able to get up in time. So you always want to make sure that you just squat or just bend over. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you don't put your face here, because if there's a fly, it's too cold today for flies, but if there's a fly and a fly would land on him and he picked up his foot, let's say this brushes my face, and he picked up his foot, that knee would come up and it'll just hit you right in the side of the face, and that hurts. And he can't see here, just like you cannot see under here. So he would not know that you were there until he bumped you with his knee. So we're going to brush. Back in your step. There you go. So we're going to brush all the way down. And you're just going to reach around with your hand and keep your face clear. Keep your face clear of being in the middle. And then this brush is long strokes. You want to brush in long strokes. If you brush a horse like this and really whisk at him, that actually excites the horse. It makes the horse where it's just more excitable. You want to calm your horse. You want your horse to be calm. And so brushing in long strokes is soothing to the horse. And you can not only get him clean, but you can help him be more relaxed. So you want to just breathe yourself and brush in long strokes. To brush the back leg, you reach down, brush all the way down, and hold the tail of the horse, which is kind of an interesting fact, is if you're holding a horse's tail, they are unlikely to kick, and it helps you balance to get their leg clean. So then the last thing that we're going to do with the brush is this is the body brush or the soft bristle brush. This actually is a horsehair brush, which I really like. And we're going to brush his face. So you put your hands here. You don't stick your fingers in the rings. You just hook your fingers just a little bit over the top of the nose band so that if he got excited and pulled, my hand would come free. And you brush firmly down the sides of their faces and over the top. Horses don't like it if you brush them like tickle, 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 tickle. They like you to brush their faces firmly. It's something that they can't do themselves, and so they often like that. I generally don't brush them below the halter. This on his head is called a halter, and so we generally brush above that. If they have dirt on their ears, there's a mitt, which I don't have in my bucket, and you just heard him sigh, and that's a horse's way of saying all clear. I'm not worried about what's going on, and Mo sighs a lot, and it just means that all is safe in the herd, all is safe in the world, and when he's out here with us, we're part of his herd. So we're going to take the body brush, and now we're just going to bring some shine to his summer coat, and we're going to spread some more of that oil around in his winter coat, and we're going to brush all the way down to the hoof. I really pay special attention under here where the cinch goes. When we go to put the saddle on, this is where the cinch is going to go, and you want to pay special attention that this area is clean. When they're moving around or laying outside, it's kind of muddy out right now, this will get muddy, so you want to really make sure you double check and make sure that's clean in that area. And of course his back. And I'm just moving so you can see what I'm doing. Good boy. Okay, last but not least, we've got to clean out his hooves. There are two main things